Hey everyone, so today we're going to go over factoring the difference of squares and understanding what the conjugate means. So let's start off with something that we're used to seeing, right? So we have a bunch of factors next to each other, and let's say we need to simplify, right? Let's say that was the instructions. Well, we can FOIL or use whatever multiplication method we know. So x times x, well, that's just x squared. And then x times negative 2, negative 2x, 2 times x, positive 2x, 2 times negative 2 is negative 2. Now let's notice something here. We have our x squared, we have negative 2x, positive 2x, negative 2. These two terms are opposites. So when we combine them, we actually get 0. So then our final answer, instead of ending up with 3 terms like we normally do, we end up with 2 terms. We end up with this x squared and this negative 2. Sorry, negative 4. Just realized that. Whoops. Whoops. Haha. X squared minus 4. Alright, so let's try this again. So 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared. 2x times positive 1, positive 2x, minus 2x, and negative 1. Okay, what are we noticing again? 2 terms are canceling out, so we end up with 4x squared minus 1. Same thing, there seems to be a pattern where if we have factors where the terms are the same on the inside, but the middle signs are opposite, we're going to end up with 2 terms. So terms are the same, but middle signs are opposite, 2 terms. So the same result should happen here. 1/2 times 1/2, that's 1/4 x squared. Then we have a half times 5, that's positive 5 over 2x, negative 5 over 2x, and then negative 25. Again, these middle terms are canceling out, so we end up with 1/4 x squared minus 25. Okay, so we've done this 3 times, and there seems to be a pattern coming through. If we have terms that are the same, but the middle signs are opposites, we end up with binomials. So let's see if we can come up with the formula for that. So if we have a plus b and a minus b, well, what's our end result going to be? Well, a times a is a squared minus a times b plus a times b, and then positive b times negative b is negative b squared. We know these cancel out. So then we end up with the formula a plus b times a minus b. It's just a squared minus b squared. We can just jump straight to here. So sometimes we're not given this portion. Sometimes we're given this and we need to go backwards. We need to factor. So let's look at an example. Let's say we had x squared minus 16. Right? So we only have 2 terms in the form of a squared and b squared, because x squared is a perfect square and 16 is also a perfect square. So we can break it down. Let's say a squared is our x squared, and let's say b squared is 16. Well, if a squared is x squared, what should a be? If we take the square root of x squared, we just get x. If b squared is 16, and we take the square root of b squared, well, that's just going to be 4. So using this setup, knowing that a is x and b is 4, we can actually factor this as x and 4, x and 4. And knowing that our original factored form in general is a plus and minus, plus minus. And if you want to check, if you're skeptical, you can just distribute x times x, x squared, x times negative 4x, positive 4x. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Middle terms cancel out. Well, look at that. X squared minus 16. Same as what we originally had. So knowing that if you just have a binomial with perfect squares, well, all you need to do is take the square root of the individual terms. So let's do one more simple example. Let's say we had 81 x squared minus 36, right? Okay, well, this is a perfect square. 81 is a perfect square. X squared is a perfect square. So if a squared equals 81x squared, well, the square root of that, square root of 81 is just 9. Square root of x squared is just x. B squared is 36. Square root of 36 is just 6. So when we write our factors, it's just 9x plus 6, 9x minus 6. And that's it. You can distribute to check if it gives you back the original expression, but that's the basic idea of factoring the difference of squares. Now, I'm going to do another video with more complicated examples, but let's go on to what the conjugate means right here. So you notice that they're the same terms but opposite signs. That's actually what the conjugate is. So the conjugate are, don't know what I'm writing, are two factors that have the same terms but opposite middle signs. So what do I mean by opposite middle signs? If you have one factor and the middle sign is positive, then its conjugate, or the other factor, is going to be negative. So let's say I gave you a random example. Let's say I said, find the conjugate of 3x plus 11. Well, if the original is this, then the conjugate would be 3x minus 11. And that's it. Nothing else you change. Just a sign of pretty much the second term, or the middle term. And that's pretty much your basic understanding of conjugate and factoring difference of squares. As I said before, I'll make more videos with more complicated examples, but this is all you need to take away for Algebra 2. Alright, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, leave them in the comment section below, like and subscribe. Bye!